everyone, welcome to Pepcoding. The question we are going to solve today is called pattern 10. So first let us understand what the pattern is and then we are going to print it. So let's take the pattern to the board and I'll help you understand what the pattern is all about. So we have a pattern over here and in this pattern we have a dimension, right? So if you can see, we have one star in the first row, 2 stars in the second row, 3 stars in the third row, 2 stars in the fourth row, and 1 star in the last row. So we have been given a number which is n, and we know that the number n represents the number of rows which we have to work with. That is the number of rows in which we have to print our pattern. So now if you observe the pattern carefully, we have to take care of two things. The first thing which we are taking care of are the outer spaces, right? So we have two outer spaces over here. Over here we have a single outer space. In this row we have no outer spaces. So there's none. This becomes 0, right? Then as soon as I go down from the middle portion, that is the middle row, again outer spaces increased by 1 and then it became 2. So first outer spaces are increasing by 1 over here and then first outer spaces are decreasing by 1 over here and then outer spaces are increasing by 1. Okay, so I have, then we have inner spaces to take care of. So here I have one inner space, then I have 3 inner spaces, so it increased by 2. Again, as soon as I go down from the middle part, it became 1 again, right? And initially it was equal to 0 in both of them. So what is happening is, over here I have two things, outer space and inner space. So when we are dealing with outer space, first it was 2, then it was 1, then it became 0, then 1 and then 2 again. Inner spaces in the first row were 1, then became 3, then 1 again. So over here I can see a pattern which is of 1, right? Decrease by 1, increase by 1. Here I can see increase by 2, decrease by 2. So if I take 0 over here in both of these, it will break my pattern, right? So I am going to take -1. That does not make any difference, right? So I can take -1 over here and I will maintain my pattern where I am taking a difference of 2. Okay. And then I also have to deal with the stars. So as you can see, in the first and the last row, I have 1 star each. And in rest of the rows, I have 2 stars. So I have to make sure to be able to stick to this pattern and then print, right? So let's do this using a compiler. Over here, we'll start. Okay. Now, the first thing I need to do is take the input. So I have to take the input of the number of rows, right? Then I have to start taking the stars, right? So I have to print the stars as well as the spaces. So I am going to do this for n number of rows. So from 1 to n. Then the next thing which we are doing is observing the pattern. So I'll make the pattern over here so we can follow it. We have 1 star, 2 over here, 2 and 1. And over here we'll make the spaces. So 1 will be, over here we'll have 1 and 2, 1, 0, 1 and 2. And our inner spaces will be equal to, over here we have 1, then 3, and then 1. Okay, so now we are going to move according to this pattern. The first thing which we are doing over here is print the outer spaces, right? So we are going to start printing the outer spaces. First, we need to initialize the outer spaces. So we will start from this row. For the first row, how many outer spaces do you see? We have 2 outer spaces, right? We have n to be equal to 5 and the outer spaces are coming out to be 2. So whenever we are using int and I divide 5 by 2 in integer value, what will I get? 2, right? So over here we have the number of outer spaces to be equal to n by 2. Okay, so here we are going to take a variable outer space and it will start from n by 2. Okay, so we have starting from 1 and going till, okay, and over here we are going to print space system dot out dot print here. After we are done printing the outer spaces, I need to print a star. So I have a star with a tab. Okay, then after printing the star, I want to go for the inner space. So inner space for the first row is starting with -1 as we discussed to maintain the pattern of the difference of 2. So we are going to take a variable and we will initialize it as -1. So over here I have another loop. And here also I'll print spaces. Okay. Now, after that, see, in the second row, third row, and fourth row, that is all the rows leaving the first as well as the last row, I need to print 2 stars each. But I have to make sure that I do not print in first and the last row. So we have to take care of that condition. So we are saying that if the value of I, that is row, is greater than 1 and it is less than the last row, that is n. So we are, in this case, we'll print another star. Along with the tab. Okay. Now what we are doing is, see, we need to change the values of the outer spaces and the inner spaces, right? So we have to move till the middle row, and while we are moving till the middle row, outer spaces are decreasing by 1 and inner spaces are increasing by 2. So what we are going to do is, and what will be the value of the middle row? So here I have 1, 2 and 3, right? So if I am taking this from 1, my value for the middle row is equal to n by 2 plus 1, right? So if I increase for 1, I'll get for second row. If I increase for 2, then I'll get for third row. But for third row, I need to decrease. So my condition over here will become that if I is less than equal to n by 2. That is, if I is less than equal to 2 in this case. So we are going to, what we are doing is, we are decreasing outer spaces by 1 and we are increasing inner spaces by 2. Right? Otherwise, we are going to, what we are doing is, in the portion after the middle row, outer spaces will increase by 1 and inner spaces will decrease by 2. We are going to increase outer spaces by 1 and decrease inner spaces by 2. Okay. And after that, when we are done with all of this, we need to go to the next line. So we are going to take another line. Here I have system dot out println. Okay, now let us try to run this program and see if it is correct. First, let me rub this off. Now we have to run program. Okay, there's something wrong. The values over here. So let's see what's going wrong over here. We have to check for each of these. So let us check what the error is and then I'll tell you. So over here in this line, line number 19, as you can see, I put this as less than inner space. So I will not be able to work for the last inner space. So I need to put an equal to sign over here and I'm going to run this program now. Okay, now this is accepted. So we are going to submit it. So it was correct answer. So we discussed pattern 10, which was something like a diamond. I hope you understood the concept of outer spaces and inner spaces. And I hope you understood what we were doing in the question. So thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel.